thing. Yeah, I don't believe Riggs was involved in any ways. But
but there's no way you can know that.
Right.
Not yet until the footage comes out. Yeah. But he's
cross-eyed again. Biz hit him so hard.
Strays.
Welcome to the Rundown. It is Thursday, November 26th. We're getting ready for turkey time in two ways. We're doing actual Thanksgiving, and then some people are heading off to Turkey with a squad of balds soon. We'll get into the rundown in a second. Watching your team win is nice, but why not make that a win-win? My partners at DraftKings are all about that winning feeling. Right now, new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up using my promo code RUNDOWN. The crown is yours. Follow all your favorite Barstool personalities' picks in the Barstool betting group on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code RUNDOWN. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code RUNDOWN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
Hell yeah.
Nothing to point out about either of you. Totally normal outfits for today. Just excited for the holiday season.
I am wearing a Termy sweatshirt that will be on sale for Black Friday.
How much will that be off?
20%, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great deal, yeah.
Never fly dry.
And 100% off if you play your cards right with Donnie.
Well, yeah.
Married man.
He
fucks,
fucks,
on the way, so. Let's get into the biggest story of the day. This is making national news right now. And when I first saw the headline and didn't know the full story, I was like, oh shit, what went down? What happened? Biz, our own Spit and Chicklets Biz, 7 scumbags tried to beat him up in his go-to restaurant in Scottsdale. And they found out the hard way that you don't fuck with an ex-hockey player who doesn't give a fuck.
Especially one that's known for fighting.
Yeah, especially one that's his bread and butter. Yeah, so what was it, Sunday night when this happened?
I think so. And I think the reason all of us were terrified at first is that the only article that came out said he is believed to have non-life-threatening injuries, which it's like, if you see that in an article, you're like, well, they must be pretty severe injuries if they're only believed to not be life-threatening.
I mean, it was only a couple months after Dante got jumped too, and Dante ended up like legit in the hospital, and like both his eyes were swollen shut, and his picture was horrific.
Yeah, well, that was like a year ago, I think. But
to set the scene, kind of, Biz lives in Scottsdale. This restaurant, Houston's, that he goes to, he said 3 to 4 times a week he's heading there. It's kind of his go-to spot. He said he like works, just heads over there, heads over there.
He was like, when I'm in Scottsdale, I don't do anything. I'm just in my apartment and I go out to eat at the same spot 3 or 4 times a week. And that's my life in Scottsdale. And
you do that long enough. Like, I feel like we all have our go-to spots. Those people you become really familiar with, you start to learn about the person. Like, you end up like really caring about these people at this restaurant. So he's eating there. He looks over and these 6 or 7 drunk golfers are pushing one of the managers around. He steps in to try and help, and they tried to unleash on him inside the restaurant and then outside the restaurant. I think he said he got kicked in the head a few times, which means he got taken to the ground at some point. And that could have gone, like, I know we're saying Biz, ex-hockey player, known for fighting, blah, blah, blah. But against that many people, like, it is actually pretty amazing that he didn't get more fucked up. Like, he could have gotten... We're just very lucky that he's okay, all things considered. It's crazy. I mean,
he filmed that vid, like, he looks fine in the vid. He's got a couple bruises on the side of his head, but all things considered, like, I would just be a pulp after trying to fight those guys.
My favorite line is when he's talking in the video, is he's saying, like, don't worry, Dave, took some, gave more.
Yeah.
So he's like, such a chill attitude about it.
Honestly have that as the new slogan.
Yeah, took some, gave more.
Yeah.
Just super badass, and I expect nothing less of Biz, and I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, because like the fight itself sounded crazy. It started in the restaurant, moved outside, moved across the street into the CVS parking lot, and he used the term boot fucked.
Yeah.
So I think his head got like boot fucked into the side of the CVS or something. But
crazy. Yeah. I do note at the end of that video too, he says like 2 things I want to know. Because this place has to have security cameras.
Yeah.
The CVS, like the restaurant, like when is that video coming out? Because that's going to be crazy. And 2, he said, I think at the end, like, can't wait for their names to get out there. I want everybody to see who these fucking scumbags are. Like going at the manager of the restaurant, blah, 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 blah. You have to wake up the next morning and be like, fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, going after like wait staffs or manager makes you like a cunt already.
And it
like,
sounded
if you
like
do
it was
that
because
kinda
they
stuff.
wanted more to drink and they were cut off and they
Right.
were already past the point.
Like people that give wait staff trouble in general are like, that's awful to do to different people. But this story, Biz doesn't have any trouble with the ladies at all. Imagine. Like I'm an ex-hockey player. I'm on TNT all the time. And I was able
7
to...
dudes in a-
He does not need more pussy.
untouched. No, he doesn't.
He does not.
The only other twist on this of note, it was a group of golfers. I haven't heard anything from Riggs and Frankie.
Yeah.
And weren't they just in Arizona the other
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
True.
What if it was them?
True. They need to disavow as golfers.
Yeah.
Yes. Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't believe Riggs was involved in any ways, but
Okay.
the
But there's
fact
no way you can know that.
Right.
not yet until the footage comes out.
Yeah.
But these
He's
are
cross-eyed again. Biz hit him so hard. Yeah.
Strays.
but this is a group of golf bros in Scottsdale. There's like a 75-80% chance that they are fans of Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be shocked if the footage leaks and like one of them is like wearing some Barstool merch.
It'll be a lot less cool for Biz if you're wrong and these dudes are like 85 years old.
Yeah.
He's just wailing on these old dudes in the bar. I doubt
Imagine
it.
being a Spittin' Chicklets fan and waking up and you had no idea, and then
Yeah.
they're all on there calling you a Muppet.
Because I mean, they sounded fucking.
tough.
I'm sure they were all hammered. They wake up the next morning, they're like, "Oh my god, we fucking jumped Paul Bissonnette."
Yeah. Not
Like,
great.
They're fucked.
Not great. But they've been arrested. I think they were charged with assault probably. And
It has to be
Something
aggravated. If you have that many people going at one person, I would imagine
disorderly
it's
conduct.
aggravated assault.
Yeah. So good luck with that, fellas.
Yeah. And like Biz is not someone you want to mess with. When we were filming in Tennessee, there were a couple times where he gave me like a friendly shoulder check as like a joke, and I would just go flying 5 feet in the other direction.
Yeah. That's okay. I'll say it. I also can't wait to see the injuries on these guys. Like I hope pictures come out and they're pretty fucked
That
up.
would be so sick.
Yeah.
If they had like
Just
busted up
covered in-
noses. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
So interested to see the footage if that comes out. So I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah.
Up next, we got Drake suing Spotify and Universal Music Group, that's his own record label, for allegedly artificially inflating the popularity of Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us. KFC had a pretty good blog about this where he's like, 2 things are true. It's lame as fuck. You seem like the ultimate Karen to sue because there was a diss track about you. If I tried to sue everybody who came at me in the comments, I'd be doing it
Rich.
forever. I would be a busy lady. But at the same time, Drake is doing what might be the most important thing in modern music history, taking on the music industry. Apparently, ever since things have gone digital, like the heads of all these music groups are in total control of everything. And nobody knows where do they really get their numbers from. Blah, 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 blah. How do they pick and choose these art? Like, apparently the whole world is so shady. And Drake wants them to open up the books for public record. And doing that could change music forever. Like, could flip everything around. Because they have all the power right now, the people at the top.
But that's not anything that's new. Like with best-selling books and with best-selling music and CDs before, like when Eminem first dropped, like his Death Row records would, or whatever it was at the time, would buy like 100,000 and send them to different places. So they've always kind of inflated numbers before. Like this is not new. They're just doing it in a different medium. Like New York Times best-selling books. That's how you're like, how the fuck is that best-selling? It's because their own publishing houses buy them so that they could put it as a New York or bestseller.
I'd like to know what Drake thinks they were doing. Were they just putting that song in like every playlist on Spotify?
Right.
Because it was a very catchy song on its own.
Right.
Yeah.
It became a cultural phenomenon as people screaming, certified pedophile, certified. Yeah. Like it was playing at the clubs, at sports games. Like they would cut that part out and the crowd would just scream it anyway. Like it became a whole phenomenon. And is he saying it became a phenomenon because you guys like forced it and pushed it and escalated the amount of listens it got when it didn't really, like that kind of stuff? I don't know. Who
was thinking about it though? Like at this point, like you only have like a month, maybe a month of being relevant online, like that song. Now that he's talking about it, it's back.
Yeah, I do think he should have let it go. But if it comes out that Spotify and these music labels were doing something very egregious, then maybe it could be a win for Drake, but it's got to be really bad, or else it's just, why did you bring this back up? We were slowly starting to forget about it.
But I think him and his team are smart enough that he wouldn't do this, because it is like an embarrassing bad look, and I'm sure he knows that. I can't see him doing it unless he had some pretty good inside scoop knowledge.
Maybe
like
that's
pretty good proof.
maybe that's the PR move where now he's trying to be like the Spotify Robin Hood.
Yeah. Or like you write a diss track about me, I'm going to prove to you it wasn't as popular or great as you thought it was. Like, it actually
Not
got this
so fast.
Yeah, it got half the amount of views you thought it did, blah, blah. You want to gloat over me. But if he's wrong, that'll suck. That'll for him. That'll be tough.
It is very true, though. Like, there are certain songs that you can't escape when you're using Spotify. Just no matter what playlist you select, they always come back on. I assume it's because their representation are just paying Spotify tons of money.
Yeah, and really would be interesting to know, like, to see the behind the scenes. Like, before you had a record, you had something like solid that you could show the book for, and now, like, it's such a mystery. I would like to see. I kind of hope he wins. I'm curious to know if it changes any laws or anything, forcing them to be more transparent. But we'll see. In the meantime, Drake is getting absolutely shit on for this, and everyone's basically calling him a Karen. So we'll see.
I agree.
Yeah. I think he'll be okay.
I'm on the Karen side.
You're on the Karen side?
He's a Karen.
All right. This one, I guess, boy, are we doing pretty bad. Generation Z says 587,000. Fuck, I can't read numbers.
Yeah, this is a struggle. You're doing great.
587,000, $587,000.
Nailed it.
Hell yeah. Is the minimum salary to be financially successful. Uh-oh, I'm not doing good, guys.
Same.
I'm not even doing a fifth of the good as that. Yeah, no, that's tough.
I would say that that's probably about the number to consider yourself like lightly rich.
Yeah,
like
you are definitely wealthy.
Like if you're doing that, you're top. I think that's top 1%. That's where the top 1% goes. And anytime you're in the top 1%, you're rich.
Yeah, well, that's what, like, didn't they recently pass a law like anyone who makes over 400K will get taxed a lot more?
That was the proposal from the Harris administration.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I guess this is just I thought this was like what makes you financially. It's Gen Z is saying this is what they consider the minimum to be financially successful is nearly $600,000. Okay, Gen Z is on some. When I got out of college, I was like, someday if you work hard enough, you might make over 70K.
Yeah.
Like that to me was like a goal. Like 80 if I was like busting my ass. I wanted to be a dental hygienist because I was like, at the peak, they're making 80K a fucking year. And that was like.
And then 100K was like, oh, I have made it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in New York City. When I worked at Comedy Central, I made 40K a year. And that's before taxes and all that shit. I look back now, I'm like, how the fuck? So I was living off like 28,000 a year in New York City. I don't know how, and I was like, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. Like,
yeah, like I talked to my daughter who wants to be like a EMT and realistically going through budgets and stuff. It's impossible for you to live in a city like Chicago and make less than 50, 60 grand. Like impossible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless you have like 18 roommates.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But yeah, I guess I thought 80K was my success. So Gen Z saying 600,000 almost is making me feel.
And they're all going to feel bad
myself.
because that's going to be a long, long time before any of them gets even remotely close to that.
Now, if you're making 100K in Manhattan, it will be tough. You're not going to have a lot of disposable income. If you make 100K in more rural America, you could be doing very well for yourself still, I think.
Yeah, those numbers that you could see like charts of where you have to be a top 5%er in whatever states. Mm-hmm. And then you'll have a state that like to be a top 5%er like in Mississippi, like 135 household income will make you like a top 5%er. So if you work a job like us where you could be like a digital nomad or go like you did, live in Thailand, you could live like a god. Like your same salary that you have in Chicago, you move it to Thailand and you're living like the Rockefellers.
Yeah.
Which I could technically do. I feel like, I don't think Dave would say no. Like he doesn't probably even know I work out of the Chicago office. Like if I was like, I'm just going to go and live in Vietnam, I would probably be able to put out even more content, but my salary would go insane over there.
Oh yeah.
I would have like a villa and a pool.
Oh, big time.
Mm-hmm. Pool boy,
we could all come visit you.
A pool boy. Definitely a pool boy.
Yeah.
Do you ever get tempted to do something like that?
Especially because like my wife, her degree is in teaching abroad. Yeah. So it's like no matter where you go in the world, you can find work as an English teacher.
Yeah.
It would just be tough now that my parents are getting older, like living on the other side of the planet.
Especially with a kid on the way and all that stuff. So,
But I mean, with a kid, I would like rather go abroad because I could afford a nanny, a full-time nanny.
Good point.
True,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe
Childcare
even
is easier in other countries
live-in.
too.
Yeah, I could probably, for sure. I could afford a live-in nanny in Vietnam.
God, that would be so elite. And I
For
bet you
the
would have the best breakfast ever.
Yeah.
For the record, boomers, about 100K is what they consider financially successful. Gen X say about 212K is what
Boomers
they
are
consider.
so out of touch. $100,000.
And millennials 180. So my age range, if I was making 100, I think if that was true, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I think pretty good about maybe I do. You guys don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Don't look at me too closely.
And
Now
I think
everybody's
that's
going to
a
comment
good
like,
thing.
we're so
Like,
poor.
Chaps was saying on Drop a Pin that in Norway you can look up anyone's salary, because it's all public knowledge. I wouldn't like that if that was the case in the U.S. because like as they say, comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're always just going to be like finding someone else and being like, oh, I work harder than them and they
As
make
a woman,
more.
it'd be really tough.
Yeah.
Boy, here I am making half of what you guys make again.
Yeah, but it would be great. Like
But yes,
in
that would
your
be-
business, be like, well, this person does the same thing as I do. And they
Yeah.
make this amount. Why am I not making this amount?
Yeah, they say it's a very good thing, but I can see it being
Bad for bosses,
being
though.
painful. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got? All right, White Sox Dave's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
There's not much to get into.
That
You
picture.
posted a photo.
Yeah.
He posted a photo. We have this wheel on the Yak where you have to go out to dinner with White Sox Dave. He posted a photo from the restaurant and his hair looked amazing. He knows how to fluff it and zhuzh it and like tease it, I guess, to where it looks pretty good. And then you unraveled the whole thing here.
The saddest part about that is, he's gotten in a bunch of reps trying to get that just right. Like he's practiced it a bunch to get it where it's like presentable.
But basically,
The other day we were filming something and I tried to just take a picture of his bald spot to send to the clinic, but he had it combed so perfectly that I couldn't even, if I wanted to take a bad picture, I wouldn't have been able to.
yeah, no, he's really gotten really good at it. But you guys, I guess the next time you're on the rundown, you will be back from Turkey where you're taking a little herd of the Barstool fellas to get hair plugs, hair implants?
Hair transplants.
What's the final, what's the latest news on all that?
So 5 Barstool employees.
Can you name them?
Nikki Smokes, Ken Jack, Eddie, White Sox Dave, and Rudy.
Okay.
And then I think we're bringing 8 to 9 stoolies.
And they're all in, they're confirmed.
Yeah,
all
they
about
are.
it.
Yep, all confirmed, all paid. And I think almost all of them are balding even worse than White Sox Dave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tough group.
But I'm a little nervous just because it's the first group trip I've ever done.
Yeah.
And as the only one who's traveled to Turkey before, people are going to be looking to me to have it all planned out. If they have any questions, concerns, I'm the one who's going to be responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of pressure, but I'm excited. I think the content is going to be incredible. And I think this could become a yearly thing.
Taking dudes to
do
boobs next year.
And then that would be
Do a
incredible.
Cal strip.
If I
Donnie's
be
sending out
amazing.
emails, mass email. Hey, if anybody in Chicago wants to get their tits done.
Yeah, just me and 10 chicks. A boob trip. We could go down to Brazil and get Brazilian butt lifts.
Yeah, I
The
like
whole
it.
BBL, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really interested to see because afterwards, there's a lot of upkeep that comes with it, and they can't wear hats right away, and so they're going to be walking around here getting roasted mercilessly. I say that with love, but it's going to be a tough few months, and then they're going to have the glow up, and they're going to be stunning.
Will they be ready to go out and go hippo mode by summertime?
Yeah, you'll be able to swim by summertime, but I don't think you see the full effects 9 months later, but by 6 months later, you're starting to look more normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when I put out a tweet saying we'd be open to bringing stoolies, I had over 300 people shoot me an email.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So this is the whole, and you leave the day after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Friday night.
Oh my God.
Are you guys staying in one of those 4 or 5 star hotels that they do and they bring you on a party bus from the airport?
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to see how everybody turns out.
Same.
That's going to be a good, that'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah. And then I won't be flying back with them because I'm going to India for a week to film some content.
Oh, cool. Are you just going by yourself then?
Yeah, a solo trip. So be on the lookout for some live streams.
And this is your last big trip before the baby, right?
Yeah. I just want to do one more abroad trip before I'm hunkered down for a while. Half the people I've talked to are like, don't go to India.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been getting a bad rep just in terms of how chaotic it is, how dangerous the food can be.
Yeah.
Due to sanitation.
Are you sticking to the main cities or you're like going out in the boonies?
I'm going to stick to the main cities. I
Okay.
think that's where like all the madness is.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I can make it to a rural village, that would be great too.
I'm very jealous of that trip. I wanted to go because I just finished a big book about life in India.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go like put actual visuals based off of what I read down.
Yeah.
So like going to Mumbai, I wanted to do that so bad.
As someone who struggles with diarrhea, though,
that's the reason
why.
why.
You probably
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
You
it'd be
probably can't.
rough.
Well, I can't wait to see
Just
those
go to
videos come
KFC.
out, especially the turkey trip.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be
and
great.
Getting close to turkey. Anything else? Any big plans for Thanksgiving?
No, just gonna be pumping the
We're gonna be
Barstool
here.
merch for the
Yeah,
sale.
Black Friday sales coming up. We got a lot of good merch. You guys, the travel show, drop a pin. You guys have new merch coming out.
Yeah,
Is it
we
gonna
do.
be
It's
available
nice.
for
It's
Black
got
Friday?
a little blue, and it's got a blue-footed booby on there.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, that's actually the reason Chaps is dressed like Santa Claus. We just recorded our Christmas episode with Kate.
North Pole.
We drop a pin on the North Pole and take a dive deep into Christmas lore
Hell
and
yeah.
the actual North Pole.
Drop a Pin podcast. You share some great stories about your Christmases in China, but that podcast is doing really well. It's great. So check out Drop a Pin podcast if you haven't yet. Trying to think what else we have. There's going to be boy mom merch in the store, girl dad merch on the store, all things you can put yourself in a little container and wear it on your sweater. That's
Hell yeah.
exciting. But yeah, a lot of good merch coming out. And I hope you guys have I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Same.
So,
Happy Thanksgiving.
yeah, that's the rundown.